Question 1. Over time, excess noise can damage your ability to hear. Can such a condition be reversed? A. Yes, but you will be forced to change your current job. B. With time, the condition may repair itself. C. The damage is permanent and cannot be reversed. D. You will need surgery to repair your hearing loss. Question 1. Answer: C. The damage is permanent and cannot be reversed. Question 2. You have just finished working with a particularly noisy piece of equipment and you have a ringing in your ears. What does this symptom imply? A. Your body has been exposed to excess vibration. B. You may be coming down with the flu or respiratory infection. C. The level of noise was high, but it was still safe. D. You've temporarily damaged your hearing. Question 2. Answer: D. You've temporarily damaged your hearing. Question 3. Over time, excess noise can damage your hearing. Which of these is an early sign of this? A. Infections of the inner ear. B. There are no early signs. C. A rash may appear around the outside of your ear. D. A ringing sound or even a temporary hearing loss may occur. Question 3. Answer: D. A ringing sound or even a temporary hearing loss may occur. Question 4. Give 2 separate answers as to how excess noise can affect your health. A. Loss of hearing. B. Constant ear infections. C. An excess buildup of wax in your ears. D. Persistent headaches. E. A condition known as vibration white finger. Question 4. Answers: A. Loss of hearing. D. Persistent headaches. Question 5. You believe that excess noise at the job site has damaged your hearing. What do you need to do? A. Take a few sick days and rest. B. Have your doctor or employer arrange a hearing test for you. C. Place cotton wads in your ears to prevent any future damage. D. There is nothing that you can do. The damage is permanent and cannot be undone. Question 5. Answer: B. Have your doctor or employer arrange a hearing test for you. Question 6. You find yourself on the job site next to a coworker who is using a loud piece of machinery. You are wearing no hearing protection. What do you need to do? A. Immediately stop and speak with the supervisor of your coworker. B. Continue working, as the job site will always be noisy. C. Tell the worker to stop what they are doing. D. Leave the area until you have secured the correct personal protective equipment, PPE. Question 6. Answer: D. Leave the area until you have secured the correct personal protective equipment, PPE. Question 7. It is a general rule that noise levels may be excessive if you must shout to speak to someone. How far away? A. 6 meters. B. 4 meters. C. 5 meters. D. 2 meters. Question 7. Answer: D. 2 meters. Question 8. Your job requires you to wear ear defenders while on site. However, one of the pads is missing. What should you do? A. Use a piece of cloth and wrap it around the shell while continuing to work. B. Wear them as they are and continue working. C. Do not wear them. Work without hearing protection. D. Wait until the pad is replaced before entering into a noisy area. Question 8. Answer: D. Wait until the pad is replaced before entering into a noisy area. Question 9. When working in a hearing protection zone, you must: A. Use hearing protection when the noises are too loud to stand. B. Be careful not to make excess noise. C. Wear the appropriate hearing protection at all times. D. Have adequate hearing protection in case you need it. Question 9. Answer: C. Wear the appropriate hearing protection at all times. Question 10. By wearing hearing protection you will A. Eliminate all possibilities of being exposed to excess noise levels. B. Reduce the amount of noise you're exposed to. C. Improve your hearing. D. Reverse any previous hearing problems. Question 10. Answer B. Reduce the amount of noise you're exposed to. Question 1. How many employees does a company need before risk assessments are recorded? A. Between 5-10. B. Between 10-20. C. 5 or more. D. Just one is needed. Question 1. Answer C. 5 or more. Question 2. Which of these best describes a hazard? A. Something that is potentially harmful. B. Tools lying around on the floor. C. Cables lying around on the floor. D. Unlabeled chemicals. Question 2. Answer A. Something that is potentially harmful. Question 3. What is the cause of most accidents? A. Poisoning. B. Slips, trips and falls. C. Electrocution. D. Suffocation. Question 3. Answer B. Slips, trips and falls. Question 4. In which year was the Health and Safety at Work Act enacted? A. 1947. B. 1974. C. 1957. D. 1975. Question 4. Answer B. 1974. Question 5. Where would you go if your fire alarm was activated? A. Your manager's office. B. The fire assembly point. C. Go to your car and wait. D. Exit the building and go home. Question 5. Answer B. The fire assembly point. Question 6. What chemical fire extinguishers are identified by which color? A. Red. B. Black. C. Cream. D. Yellow. Question 6. Answer D. Yellow. Question 7. The safest way to lift a load is to A. Keep your back rounded at all times. B. Keep your back straight at all times. C. Keep your feet as close as possible. D. Keep your feet slightly apart with your back rounded. Question 7. Answer B. Keep your back straight at all times. Question 8. Electrical fires are best tackled with A. Water fire extinguisher. B. CO2 fire extinguisher. C. Wet chemical fire extinguisher. D. Foam fire extinguisher. Question 8. Answer B. CO2 fire extinguisher. Question 9. Who should report unsafe working practices at work? A. Your supervisor only. B. Your health and safety rep only. C. Anyone who notices it. D. Your line manager only. Question 9. Answer C. Anyone who notices it. Question 1. Why is it important for you to keep your working environment clean and tidy? A. To prevent rats and other animals that could spread diseases. B. To reduce the risk of slips, trips and falls. C. To reduce environmental side effects. D. All of the above. Question 1. Answer D. All of the above. Question 2. If RPE is needed for a task but you can't find it, what would you do? A. Carry on with the task and ask your supervisor when he comes along. B. Carry on with the task and take breaks at regular intervals. C. Create a temporary mask with a towel or rag. D. Wait until you get the correct RPE before starting. Question 2. Answer D. Wait until you get the correct RPE before starting. Question 3. Which of these is most likely if your body comes into contact with wet cement? A. Leptospirosis. B. Vibration white finger. C. Temporary hearing loss. D. Chemical burns and dermatitis. Question 3. Answer: D. Chemical burns and dermatitis. Question 4. At what angle should ladders be placed against the wall? A. 75 degrees. B. 40 degrees. C. 50 degrees. D. 65 degrees. Question 4. Answer: A. 75 degrees. Question 5. Which of these statements is not true about ladders? A. You should have at least 3 points of contact while on a ladder. B. A ladder should tied at the top to ensure it doesn't slip. C. A ladder should be painted to prevent wear and tear. D. You should inspect the ladder before using it. Question 5. Answer: C. A ladder should be painted to prevent wear and tear. Question 6. What does PAT mean? A. Professional appliance test. B. Portable application test. C. Portable appliance test. D. Professional application test. Question 6. Answer: C. Portable appliance test. Question 7. Which of these would have to undergo a PAT test in your workplace? A. A microwave. B. A coffee maker. C. A radio. D. A battery-powered radio. Question 7. Answer: A. A microwave. B. A coffee maker. C. A radio. Question 8. What is the main reason for reporting accidents? A. So employees can make a claim for compensation. B. Someone needs to be blamed for the accident. C. So employers and employees can learn from and prevent the same accidents in the future. D. Employers need to keep records for survey purposes. Question 8. Answer: C. So employers and employees can learn from and prevent the same accidents in the future. Question 9. You find yourself on the job site next to a coworker who is utilizing a loud piece of machinery. You are wearing no hearing protection. What should you do? A. Immediately stop and speak with the supervisor of your coworker. B. Continue working, as the job site will always be noisy. C. Tell the worker to stop the job they are currently performing. D. Leave the area until you have secured the correct personal protective equipment, PPE, for your ears. Question 9. Answer: D. Leave the area until you have secured the correct personal protective equipment, PPE, for your ears. Question 10. It is a general rule that noise levels may be excessive if you must shout to speak to someone. How far away? A. 6 meters. B. 4 meters. C. 5 meters. D. 2 meters. Question 10. Answer: D. 2 meters. Question 1. Site inductions should be attended by A. Supervisors only. B. Everyone who will be on site. C. Managers only. D. Short-term visitors only. Question 1. Answer: B. Everyone who will be on site. Question 2. Being exposed to engine oil can cause A. Hearing problems. B. Skin problems. C. Lung cancer. D. Temporary loss of breath. Question 2. Answer: B. Skin problems. Question 3. Which of these are common causes of accidents on a construction work site? A. Slips, trips and falls. B. Falling from height. C. Inhaling hazardous substances. D. All of the above. Question 3. Answer: D. All of the above. Question 4. For maximum safety, disposable masks should be discarded after A. 6 days. B. 2 weeks. C. 1 day or 1 shift. D. 3 days. Question 4. Answer C. 1 day or 1 shift. Question 5. Besides hearing loss, what can excessive noise cause? A. Headaches. B. Temporary blindness. C. Skin disease. D. Heart disease. Question 5. Answer A. Headaches. Question 6. What does this sign mean? A. Danger, fragile roof. B. Caution, tripping hazards on roof. C. No entry, roof unsafe. D. Danger, roof incomplete. Question 6. Answer A. Danger, fragile roof. Question 7. What does this sign mean? A. Eye protection recommended. B. Opaque eye protection must be worn. C. Eye protection not needed beyond this point. D. Eye protection must be worn. Question 7. Answer D. Eye protection must be worn. Question 8. What does this sign mean? A. Hand washing area. B. Protective gloves must be worn. C. Protective gloves recommended. D. Use barrier cream. Question 8. Answer B. Protective gloves must be worn. Question 1. All of the following statements are true about using podium steps except A. You must ensure the wheels are locked before getting on. B. Podiums are 100% safe and cannot topple over. C. Like all other equipment, podiums must be inspected regularly. D. Podiums can topple over, so you must take care when reaching sideways. Question 1. Answer B. Podiums are 100% safe and cannot topple over. Question 2. What is the leading cause of death among construction workers? A. Being hit by vehicles on site. B. Leptospirosis. C. Falling from height. D. Electrocution. Question 2. Answer C. Falling from height. Question 3. Which of these statements is true about using ladders? A. Only one person should work on a ladder. B. 2 people can work on the same ladder if it is long enough. C. 2 people can work on the same ladder if the supervisor approves. D. 2 people can work on the same ladder only if someone else holds the ladder. Question 3. Answer A. Only one person should work on a ladder. Question 4. What should you do if the ladder you're about to use is damaged? A. Carry on using the ladder but stay away from the damaged section. B. Try to fix the ladder yourself. C. Put the ladder in a corner and leave it there. D. Stop using it, report it, and let your colleagues know the ladder is not safe. Question 4. Answer D. Stop using it, report it, and let your colleagues know the ladder is not safe. Question 5. What should you do if you need to use a mobile tower scaffold but the wheel brakes aren't working? A. Ask a colleague to hold the tower while you work. B. Carry on using it only if the floor is level. C. Use a rock or a piece of wood to wedge the wheels and stop them from moving. D. Do not use it. Question 5. Answer D. Do not use it. Question 6. Ladders should never be painted because A. The paint causes the ladder to become slippery. B. The paint can hide or mask damaged parts of the ladder. C. You will need to repaint the ladder regularly. D. The paint could cause a distraction to the person using the ladder. Question 6. Answer B. The paint can hide or mask damaged parts of the ladder. Question 7. Which of these statements is true about storing materials on a working platform? A. Unsecured materials can be stored as long as they are above the guardrail height. B. The materials only need securing if it's going to be there overnight. C. The materials don't need to be secured if they're going to be there less than 6 hours. D. You must ensure the platform can take the weight of the materials and the materials must be stored securely so they can't fall. Question 7. Answer: D. You must ensure the platform can take the weight of the materials and the materials must be stored securely so they can't fall. Question 8. The best way to ensure a ladder is secured and won't slip is to A. Tie it at the bottom. B. Tie it at the top. C. Have a colleague hold it while you work. D. Use a piece of wood to wedge the bottom. Question 8. Answer: B. Tie it at the top. Question 9. Which of these best describes working at height? A. 5 meters above the ground. B. 6 meters above the ground. C. 10 meters above the ground. D. Any height above or below ground level that can cause an injury if you fall. Question 9. Answer: D. Any height above or below ground level that can cause an injury if you fall. Question 10. How many points of contact should you have with a ladder at all times? A. 4. B. 1. C. 3. D. 2. Question 10. Answer: C. 3. Question 11. Which of these would you not put a mobile tower scaffold on? A. An abandoned parking lot. B. A concrete walkway. C. An uneven playground. D. An asphalt road. Question 11. Answer: C. An uneven playground. Question 12. Checking a ladder before use should be done by A. Your supervisor. B. Your health and safety rep. C. The person about to use it. D. The site manager. Question 12. Answer: C. The person about to use it. Question 1. When does your employer need to provide a first aid box? A. When the total number of employees exceeds 10. B. When the total number of employees exceeds 35. C. Every site should be equipped with a first aid box regardless of the number of employees. D. First aid boxes are provided at the company's discretion and are not compulsory. Question 1. Answer: C. Every site should be equipped with a first aid box regardless of the number of employees. Question 2. Protective midsoles on your footwear are used to A. Increase comfort throughout the day. B. Support your ankles and prevent them from twisting. C. Protect your feet from falling objects. D. Protect your feet if you step on nails and other sharp objects. Question 2. Answer: D. Protect your feet if you step on nails and other sharp objects. Question 3. Why are site inductions important? A. The worksite health and safety rules are discussed during the site induction. B. It gives you the opportunity to formally meet your colleagues. C. It allows you to have a look around at the worksite. D. It gives you the opportunity to meet the site manager and supervisors. Question 3. Answer: A. The worksite health and safety rules are discussed during the site induction. Question 4. Class 3 ladders are suitable for A. Heavy-duty and industrial purposes. B. Domestic use. C. Both industrial and domestic purposes. D. Building site purposes. Question 4. Answer: B. Domestic use. Question 5. When working in a hearing protection zone you must A. Be as quiet as possible. B. Not use any loud equipment or machinery. C. Ensure you wear hearing protection. D. Work as fast as possible and then leave in order to reduce the noise level. Question 5 Answer, C. Ensure you wear hearing protection. Question 6. What should you do if you notice a safety hazard that no one else seems to notice? A. Stay away from that area. B. Report it to your supervisor immediately. C. Keep on working and report it at the end of your shift. D. Report it to your colleagues and tell them to stay away from that area. Question 6 Answer, B. Report it to your supervisor immediately. Question 7. Why is it important to sign in whenever you are on site? A. To ensure you're working your correct hours. B. To ensure you're accounted for in the event of an evacuation. C. The HSE needs records of your working hours. D. Signing in is optional and not compulsory. Question 7 Answer, B. To ensure you're accounted for in the event of an evacuation. Question 8. Which of these fire extinguishers are most suitable for use on electrical fires? A. CO2 and dry powder. B. CO2 and water. C. CO2 and foam. D. Foam and dry powder. Question 8 Answer, A. CO2 and dry powder. Question 1. Using eye protection is vital for on-site safety. When should you wear eye protection? A. Only when you're working with power tools. B. Only when you're working with hazardous chemicals. C. When the task has a potential for eye injury and if the site rules demand it. D. Only when your eyes come into direct sunlight. Question 1 Answer, C. When the task has a potential for eye injury and if the site rules demand it. Question 2. Protective midsoles in your safety footwear are designed to A. Prevent you from twisting your ankle. B. Prevent chemical burns if you step on hazardous chemicals. C. Ensure your footwear remains comfortable throughout the day. D. Protect your feet from nails and other sharp objects. Question 2 Answer, D. Protect your feet from nails and other sharp objects. Question 3. What should you do if you're given a task that requires you to wear a full-body harness but you've never used one before? A. Carry on and try to work it out yourself. B. Ask a colleague who wears one for advice. C. Ask for an expert to train you. D. Ask for the instruction manual and figure it out yourself. Question 3 Answer, C. Ask for an expert to train you. Question 4. Wearing a safety helmet in hot weather can be uncomfortable. Which of these is true about wearing a safety helmet in hot weather? A. You can drill small holes in your helmet to increase airflow and keep you cool. B. You can take it off for short periods of time while you're working. C. You must keep it on at all times and ensure you're wearing it correctly. D. You can wear it sideways if it's more comfortable this way. Question 4 Answer, C. You must keep it on at all times and ensure you're wearing it correctly. Question 5. What should you do if you accidentally drop your safety helmet and crack it? A. Get another one immediately. B. Wait until you break and get another one. C. Carry on working if it's only a small crack. D. Wait until the end of your shift and get another one for the next day. Question 5 Answer, A. Get another one immediately. Question 6. If your job role requires specific type of PPE, will you need to pay for this? A. Yes, you'll need to pay a percentage of the total cost. B. No, your employer must provide all PPE necessary to carry out a job. C. Yes, everyone is responsible for providing their own PPE. D. Maybe, you might need to pay as PPE is provided at your employer's discretion. Question 6 Answer, B. No, your employer must provide all PPE necessary to carry out a job. Question 7. What should you do if your safety footwear gets damaged while working? A. Try to fix it and carry on working. B. Throw it away and use your trainers. C. Keep using it until your next break and then replace it. D. Get a replacement immediately. Question 7. Answer: D. Get a replacement immediately. Question 8. All of these statements are true about PPE except A. PPE must be worn in accordance with the instructions. B. You are responsible for providing your own PPE if the ones you're given is lost. C. Any damage to your PPE must be reported to your supervisor. D. You must ensure your PPE is stored correctly when you're not using it. Question 8. Answer: B. You are responsible for providing your own PPE if the ones you're given is lost. Question 9. What should you do if the disposable earplugs you're given keeps falling out of your ears? A. Throw them away, continue working and get another pair at your next break. B. Take them out and continue working. C. Stop working until you get a pair that fits correctly. D. Secure it with some rolled-up paper. Question 9. Answer: C. Stop working until you get a pair that fits correctly. Question 10. It's important for you to wear the correct type of gloves when dealing with hazardous substances. If you don't, then you're likely to succumb to A. Arthritis. B. Vibration white finger. C. Raynaud syndrome. D. Skin disease. Question 10. Answer: D. Skin disease.
Question 1. What is the primary reason that employees must report any and all accidents that occur on the job site? A. Insurance reasons dictate that all incidents be reported. B. Accountability needs to be firmly established. C. Only major accidents need to be reported. D. Employers and employees can learn from the incident. Correct answer is D. Employers and employees can learn from the incident. Question 2. Equipment that has been issued a prohibition notice must be A. Operated by approved personnel. B. Operated by senior staff only. C. Cease to be operated until checked for safety. D. Discarded immediately. Correct answer is C. Cease to be operated until checked for safety. Question 3. It's important for you to wear the correct type of gloves when dealing with hazardous substances. If you don't, then you're likely to succumb to A. Arthritis. B. Vibration white finger. C. Raynaud syndrome. D. Skin disease. Correct answer is D. Skin disease. Question 4. If your job role requires specific type of PPE, would you need to pay for this? A. Yes, you'll need to pay a percentage of the total cost. B. No, your employer must provide all PPE necessary to carry out a job. C. Yes, everyone is responsible for providing their own PPE. D. Maybe, you might need to pay as PPE is provided at your employer's discretion. Correct answer is B. No, your employer must provide all PPE necessary to carry out a job. Question 5. What should you do if you're given a task that requires you to wear a full body harness but you've never used one before? A. Carry on and try to work it out yourself. B. Ask a colleague who wears one for advice. C. Ask for an expert to train you. D. Ask for the instruction manual and figure it out yourself. Correct answer is C. Ask for an expert to train you. Question 6. Which of these best describes a toolbox talk? A. It's a detailed guide on how to store your tools safely. B. It's a short discussion on a specific health and safety topic. C. It's a guide that outlines the tools approved for use on site. D. It's a guide that explains the benefits of choosing the right tools for a job. Correct answer is B. It's a short discussion on a specific health and safety topic. Question 7. What purpose does a steel toe serve in a work boot? A. Increased traction when working from heights. B. Increased comfort. C. The steel will keep the foot more aerated than a normal boot. D. Protection against falling debris from above. Correct answer is D. Protection against falling debris from above. Question 8. Equipment being used has recently been served a prohibition notice. If you are using this equipment, what should you do? A. If the device seems to be working properly, continue to use it. B. Nothing, the notice is only for a specific employee. C. Cease using the device until it has passed a safety inspection. D. Report the notice to your supervisor at the end of your shift. Correct answer is C. Cease using the device until it has passed a safety inspection.
Question 1. What should you do if the toilet on your worksite doesn't work and is always in a messy state? A. Avoid using the toilet. B. Investigate and try to fix the problem. C. Leave the site on your break and use the toilet in a nearby shop. D. Speak to your supervisor about the problem. Question 1 Answer D. Speak to your supervisor about the problem. Hint: your employer is required by law to provide adequate toilet facilities. Inform your supervisor and let him handle the situation. Question 2. What should you do when you're cleaning up dust after completing a task? A. Ensure you're wearing your protective mask. B. Ensure you dampen down the area. C. Ensure there's adequate ventilation. D. All of the above. Question 2 Answer D. All of the above. Hint: your first priority is to protect yourself and others that might be affected by any dust created. Question 3. Why is it important for you to control and minimize dust from getting into the air? A. Constantly inhaling dust particles can cause lung problems in the future. B. Less dust means less cleaning up afterwards. C. Dust is always in the air and it does not cause harm. D. Dust in the air will affect your vision. Question 3 Answer A. Constantly inhaling dust particles can cause lung problems in the future. Hint: inhaling dust can cause severe and even fatal lung problems. Question 4. What should you do if you're given a tool which has a broken electrical wire? A. Ask one of your colleagues to try and fix the problem. B. Get some electrical tape and cover the exposed wire. C. Stop using the tool and report it immediately. D. Carry on working but avoid that particular area. Question 4 Answer C. Stop using the tool and report it immediately. Hint: if a tool is unsafe for work it should be reported immediately. Question 5. Disposable masks should be used no more than A. 7 working days. B. 9 working days. C. 1 day or 1 shift. D. 10 working days. Question 5 Answer C. 1 day or 1 shift. Hint: disposable masks are similar to disposable earplugs and should not be used more than 1 day or 1 shift. Question 6. For maximum protection when using a mask you should A. Ensure you're using the correct type of mask for the job. B. Ensure you're wearing the mask correctly. C. Ensure you've passed a face fit test for that specific mask. D. All of the above. Question 6 Answer D. All of the above. Hint: to ensure you're protected, you'll need the right mask for the job. You'll need to wear it as recommended in the instructions and you will need to make sure it fits correctly. Question 7. Before starting your shift you're given a dust mask that's too big and keeps falling off. What should you do? A. Ask for a mask that fits securely and wait until you have the correct RPE before starting. B. Ask your colleague to borrow his mask then carry on working. C. Carry on working and get another one after your shift ends. D. Carry on working with the big mask until you can get another one. Question 7. Answer. A. Ask for a mask that fits securely and wait until you have the correct RPE before starting. Hint: you should never start working until you have the correct PPE/RPE for the job. Question 8. Being constantly exposed to loud noises can cause permanent ear damage. Can this be reversed? A. No, ear damage cannot be reversed. B. Yes, eventually your hearing will return to normal. C. Yes, you can have a simple operation to reverse this. D. Yes, staying away from noisy environments can slowly reverse this. Question 8. Answer. A. No, ear damage cannot be reversed. Hint: permanent hearing loss cannot be reversed, so care must be taken by using correct PPE. Question 9. Hand-arm vibration syndrome or vibration white finger can be described as A. A severe rash on your arm that's caused by exposure to hazardous substances. B. A sign that your hands are on the way to becoming permanently injured. C. An airborne disease that can affect your breathing. D. Frostbite that can lead to permanent damage to your arms and fingers. Question 9. Answer. B. A sign that your hands are on the way to becoming permanently injured. Hint: hand-arm vibration syndrome or HAVS is an early sign that your hands are on the way to becoming permanently injured. Question 10. If you're required to use skin barrier cream, when should this be applied? A. At the end of your shift. B. Before your shift starts. C. This should only be used if you can't find your gloves. D. This should only be used as part of first aid treatment. Question 10. Answer. B. Before your shift starts. Hint: skin barrier cream should be applied before your shift starts.